Hello everyone, we're here with a Q&A video. So I posted a couple TikToks and asked you guys to ask me questions that you want to know for a Q&A video. So here goes. First question is, would I ever move out of Minnesota? Yes. I've thought about this a lot, and like a lot of people relocate after they graduate high school, but my sisters are really young. They're 5, 6, and 8, and so I don't want to leave until they're a little bit older, just because I want to be able to watch them grow up and I don't want to miss that. What is my favorite hobby currently? My hobby is actually my job. So obviously making content, and then also dance. So I'm a dance coach and I'm almost constantly working on stuff for that. So that's pretty much like my two main hobbies that I do. So mashing music, doing choreography, all that fun jazz. Do I want to have more kids / how many kids do I want? Yes, Eli and I do want to have more kids. We have one right now, and we for sure want to have another one as soon as we can, once we're a little more financially stable and we're in our own place, which we're moving in August. So we for sure want one more because we want Landon to have a sibling close in age. We both kind of wanted larger families, like 3 to 4 kids, but once we had Landon, we realized just how like time consuming and everything it was. So for sure 2, maybe 3, depending on age gap. What is the biggest change I've seen in myself since entering motherhood? Confidence. I'm no longer afraid to put myself first, put my son first. I've always been a people pleaser. Like, seriously, it's so bad. I'm constantly doing things for other people and never taking this time for myself. So just being able to say no, like, that's probably my biggest change. Did I enjoy my pregnancy, and if not, what made it difficult? Yes and no. I enjoyed my pregnancy with the just being able to know that I'm carrying my own baby and I'm creating a human. But to not sugarcoat it, my pregnancy was pretty rough. Eli and I were not in the best spot. Obviously Landon was unexpected, and he's also like the youngest of his family versus I'm the oldest of my family, so I grew up around babies, so I was like, yes, motherhood, this is what I'm meant for, versus Eli's like, oh my god, I'm having a kid, what am I gonna do? There were some struggles between like him and I figuring out what we were gonna do, but otherwise, as you know, I have a lot of health issues, so there was the constant fear if something was gonna happen. I have POTS, which is a heart condition, postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome, and my POTS actually got drastically worse during my pregnancy. A lot of doctors don't know or understand what POTS is, so trying to get an answer of what was going on was really, really hard. I guess there's like a 50-50 chance if you have POTS, it's either gonna get worse or it's gonna get better while you're pregnant. And for me, it got worse, of course. My heart rate was resting at like 150 if I was standing up. Like, I worked at Caribou throughout my entire pregnancy. If I was just standing there, like not even making a drink, my heart rate would jump up to 190. Like if I was wearing a mask, like 200, 210. So I was in SVT a lot. Thankfully, like Landon was fine. It was really hard, and especially because like for me, I was sick pretty much my whole pregnancy. Like I had a few weeks where I was fine. Whenever my heart rate would go up, or like the first time I put a mask on during the day, my heart rate would jump up and I would immediately throw up. Like, I don't know what it was, but something about my heart rate raising made me throw up. So I was constantly nauseous, puking, sick, and all that stuff. But overall, my pregnancy was the best outcome that we could have expected with my health issues. If I could pick a superpower, what would it be? Probably invisibility, or I don't really know. Maybe flying? Maybe invisibility. I like the idea of being able to just kind of disappear whenever I want to. Yeah, probably that. Invisibility. How do I keep myself motivated? Someone asked this and said that they think it's really hard to stay motivated when it feels like their baby is taking up all their time. Short answer, I don't. I don't keep myself motivated. I have severe ADHD, and I don't take medication for it. basically it's just kind of the stuff that I need to do. Like, I have to get it done, or there's just no answer. It's just something that I have to do. But as far as anything else go, I am such a procrastinator, and I will push everything to the absolute last possible second. So yeah, realistically, I don't keep myself motivated as far as like getting up in the morning. It's like, oh, the baby's awake. I don't really have a choice and I have to wake up. So sorry, I don't have a better answer for that one. What would Landon's name be if he was a girl, or backup boy names? I have a list of girl names in my phone, but I'm not going to share them in case we do have a girl, because I enjoyed keeping the name a secret throughout my entire pregnancy until Landon was born. But backup boy names for Landon. Landon was actually the very first name that Eli and I both agreed on, and that's just the one that we stuck with throughout the entire pregnancy. But I really liked the name Lawson because that is my dad's middle name, and I really wanted to name Landon after my dad somehow, but Eli hated it. He hated Lawson. He kept making jokes that it sounded like lozenge. So Landon's middle name is Shane, which is my dad's first name. Something I was deathly afraid of during my pregnancy. I was terrified of having seizures. I have a very rare migraine disorder called migraines with brainstem aura, and I deal with symptoms on a daily basis. I haven't had like an actual seizure since September of 2020 when I had COVID, but I was really scared of having a seizure, and luckily my doctors allowed me to stay on my medication. There was a point where they wanted me to go off of it, but my migraines actually got also a lot worse while I was pregnant. So I went to like a specialty OB. I was labeled as high risk, and they gave me permission to stay on the medication because the baby, Landon, was already stressed out about what was already happening with my heart rate and just my other symptoms in general, so they didn't want to make that worse, especially since everything was already getting worse. If I would have gone off my medication, the likelihood that I would have had seizures was pretty high. I do have an emergency medication that I can take with my seizures, but I think it's considered an opioid, so I didn't take that at all while I was pregnant just because I really didn't want to. But there's other things that I do to help prevent my seizures from happening, so I just did those things. Last question is, what is my favorite food? I love potatoes, any kind of potatoes, baked potatoes, scalloped potatoes, mashed potatoes, and venison, which, if you don't know what that is, it's a deer steak. Definitely venison. I grew up hunting with my dad. My dad makes the best venison, and so that is hands down always been my favorite food. You might think this is weird, but I dip it in ranch. I grew up putting ranch on everything. That's like my dad's favorite sauce. So yeah, I'm a ranch girl. That concludes our Q&A. I will link my TikTok and my Instagram in the description below. If you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Bye!